Hello and welcome to Hobby Vlog number 213. I've managed to put my on-air sign up from Rosie that she got me for Christmas. That's really cool. That's going to sit there for the time being. I'm not sure where it's going to live long term, but that's a good place for it now. So in a minute I'm going to go and sit down on the sofa because I've got a few things to go through. But I did just want to say Happy New Year to everyone because it is New Year's Eve. I hope everyone's got some awesome plans for this evening. And here's to 2024 being an absolutely stunning and outstanding year for all of you. 2023 has been a bit iffy for quite a few people I know. So yeah, let's have high hopes and bring the energy that we've brought to the end of 2023 into 2024. So let's go sit on the sofa, have a quick chat through a few things, and then we'll get onto the vlog. Well, here we are on the sofa. It's been a while since I've sat down to record anything for you guys. The reason is because I've got a list of things to talk about. So the first thing we'll do is we'll talk about the Finish the Year Strong Challenge. Now, it's not over yet. It's the 31st, obviously. So there's still time to send me any pictures you've got. And I probably won't be doing the video or editing the video until like sometime during next week. So you can still send me pictures if you want to. So I will still pop the little thing on the screen now showing you the details. But it's been amazing. I want to start off by saying thank you to Lekdog. I did not come up with this challenge. Lots of people have been saying thank you for the inspiration. I want to pass that thanks on to Lekdog. He suggested it in the comments and I loved it, and so that's what we're doing. So brilliant. Thank you very much. We've had 13 people, including 14, including myself, send in pictures to be included in the video. So it's going to be an epic video. It's going to take me a while, so you do have plenty of time to send me more if you want to. So yeah, just don't be shy. Do fire them over. And when the video goes live, obviously I'll be crediting everything and shouting out to everyone who has taken part. So thanks to everyone who has taken part. So yes, 13 entries. For myself, I finished. I'm not going to get any time painting today. I managed to finish 129 miniatures since the beginning of the challenge, which is awesome because my target was 100, so I smashed it. And that actually combines with, I've tracked all my miniature painting for the year as well. I managed to do 280 miniatures over the year. So you can see just how much motivation this challenge gave me because there was a good 3 months there where I did nothing in the middle of the year, and it was this challenge which kicked me back into doing things and getting productive and feeling a little bit more positive about myself. So it's been really, really good. And on top of that, I've taken 95 miniatures that I had on the shelf that were not based, and I've based 95 more miniatures. And actually just out of shot, I've got some more that are being worked on just to be based as well. So it's really kicked me into gear to get some things finished and to paint a lot of miniatures. So brilliant. So that's the update on the Finish the Year challenge. Now we're going to quickly talk about the Reaper challenge, which is the thing that I'm doing next year. So every week I'm going to put up a list of miniatures to vote for, and they'll be on the screen now. Everyone that votes, you can have 1 vote per person per video. So if you want to vote on more than one of my videos, you can do that and you'll get more entries. And every vote on from each person will be an entry into the draw, which I'll do at least one at the end of the year. I might do it monthly, I'm not sure, but it's just a little bit of a kind of getting people involved and looking to have you involved in deciding what I get to do. So as of time of recording, I'd had 8 votes on the video last week, so thank you to everyone that voted, and there was a runaway winner with 50% of those votes. Not that you're able to see it, but that was the Townsfolk Innkeeper. So the Townsfolk Innkeeper is going to be painted up this week, and you have, as I said, on the screen before and right now in the description of this video is a list of those miniatures that are available to vote for this week. So please put that as a comment below. Try and make sure you do it as a root comment, not as a reply to someone else, otherwise I may not see it. Every vote, 1 vote per person per video, will be 1 entry into the little draw that I'll do probably at the end of the year. So there we are. That was a little bit of a longer intro than usual. It is the end of the year, and so I did want to do a little bit of a summary. I probably will do a bit more of a specific summary as a separate video. Maybe that will come out tomorrow, I'm not sure. But right now, let's get to the vlog. Thank you so much for watching. If you've sat through all of this intro, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you again at the end. Right, so we missed last weekend, unfortunately. However, Rosie this morning remembered the name of the place we're at, didn't you? Do you remember it now?
Hard Bottom. lot.
Very impressive. And you remembered what the adventure is about, didn't you? What's it about?
Yeah. Fireworks.
Very good. And Angela, completely forgotten, hadn't you, love?
No recollection.
Yeah. And we go to see Mummy's
Lobelia's mummy, yeah. We did, and Lobelia's mummy slammed the door in our face and only spoke to Balin. But what we did find is that Lobelia's brother has the fireworks and we have to go and track him down. So we're going to have a quick session here because it is Christmas Eve and we are very busy, but we missed last weekend.
The Christmas tree and the reindeer.
Everything's turned on, yes. It's all very Christmassy up here. So we're going to get to our game now, aren't we?
And we also have tinsel downstairs and upstairs and the Santa, the nutcracker.
Yeah, it's very festive. But we're going to get to the game, so we'll report back at the end of the game. Going to be a short session again because we've got lots and lots of stuff on. So let's get to it. Are you looking forward to it?
Yes.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yes.
My elf has drawn a sun on our door.
I think you can see it, but yeah, anyway. Right, Rosie's very excited. Let's get to it. Right then, that was fun. It was a short session, like I said. We've just tiptoed our way a very little bit further along in the adventure. Can you remember what happened, Rosie? No. Can you remember what happened?
We found Bruno.
We did find Bruno. And what was he doing?
He was sitting with a dwarf having a pint.
I know that session. And he was drinking a beer.
He was.
Drinking a beer.
And,
Lucky him.
yeah, and who went up to ask him first?
I did.
Yeah, Lobelia went to speak to her brother, and
He was having none of it.
no, Bruno was like, "I don't trust you anymore. You're hanging out with that oddball
Baggins.
Bilbo, that Baggins one," and so he refused to tell her anything. But then, even Primula failed, didn't you? You weren't able to get him to tell you
He
either.
wouldn't tell you either.
No, but Romirak sat down and
Bought him a pint.
and made a very strong argument about why he should tell us where those fireworks are, and he eventually did, and he told us that they're on their way to Scary, and so we tried to find a bed at the inn because we saw some storms coming in. And what happened? Do you remember?
Yeah.
What happened?
There was only 2 beds there.
There were, out of them, we needed 4 because it's us and also Balin. So we set off, and then what happened as we're walking across the moorlands?
We found a campsite and we see Tinley Castle.
Well, it started raining very heavily and we got very wet and we found a ruined building and Lobelia managed to light a fire, which meant that we were able to dry ourselves off and have a relatively comfortable night. And then just as the rain stopped and Balin woke us up,
We had to get it back on the road again.
and that's where we ended the session, didn't we? Sit up, love, sit up. That's where we ended the session, wasn't it?
Yeah, bye.
No!
Rosie is very excited about Christmas, so we're going to wrap this up. Say bye-bye to the camera.
Say happy Christmas to people.
Happy Christmas.
And she's off. Right, literally under the camera. Right, so we're back next week. Definitely going to do one. No, definitely going to do one on New Year's Eve. So we'll be back next week to get a little bit further on in this adventure. We've got quite a long way to go. So I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, really glad to get back into Middle Earth. Well, it is Boxing Day. I hope every one of you had as good, if not better, a day as I did yesterday. We had an absolutely wonderful day. It started about 5 a.m. with Rosie waking us up very excited because Santa Claus had visited and left her some gifts in her Christmas stocking hanging on her door. And yeah, so despite us saying, if it's dark, don't come and wake us, that didn't work this time. It normally does, but not on Christmas Day. And we had a wonderful day. Went all day and ended up me in bed at 9 p.m. asleep because I was so tired. But it was brilliant. I really hope every single one of you had a great day. Really enjoyed your time with your family and your friends and whatever you did. So yeah, I thought I'd give a quick show of what I got. Some good haul for the channel and for hobbying. So yeah, really excited, very pleased with what I've got. And first of all, what we have here is an on-air sign that Rosie got me. This is Rosie's gift, and just now I've plugged it in. So let's have a look and see what it looks like. There we are, isn't that brilliant? So my thinking for this is I'm going to get a battery pack. I have a few, so I can just find one, and because it's USB powered, and have it attached to my door maybe, so when I'm filming I can have that on and Rosie will be able to see it. I'm not sure, that's one idea, I might do something else, but at the very least it's wonderful, I love it, and Rosie got it for me. So there we are. Moving on, Angela has bought me a whole load of stuff for the railway. So most of this will not be on Beard Clipper, it will be on Airway Railroad, my other channel. But the first thing to show is this, which is absolutely wonderful. It's a Flying Scotsman Collector's Edition. It's DC only, so I'm going to need to get it converted. And I did have a little play with it yesterday. I don't know if there's something wrong with it or not, but it certainly needs a little bit of a service. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it off to the UK, get DCC put in it if possible, and at the very least get it serviced. If DCC can't go in it, then it will go as a shelf queen and I'll display it, maybe make a diorama. But I'm going to do my best to make it so I can run it because it's absolutely beautiful. But that's awesome, what a lovely gift. And then other than that, a whole load of stuff which will be going on the layout. First of all, a ginormous forklift truck. Look at the size of that thing, it's massive. It's actually got 2 cabs, one for driving forwards, one for driving backwards. So one of the things I asked for was I'm doing a construction site on the model railway, and so she's bought me a few things. A Nissan hut, which will be really good for a construction site, and a bunch of working people, which will also be really good for a construction site. So that was wicked. She's picked me up a 16-ton steel mineral wagon. Now I actually have another kit flat pack wagon that she bought me a few years back, which is still in its box because the model railway just kind of took so long, it's been waiting so long, but now I'm starting it. I'll get those 2 built, but again, that'll be on the Area Railroad channel, so you have to jump over if you want to see that. Some modern litter bins, these are card stock, so again, that'll be over there. Some pillar boxes or letter boxes, depending on what you want to call them, which is good. Some skips full of rubbish. So that will be really, really nice just to add some kind of character to the layout. I've been loving my Daypol kits. If any of you are doing like 1/72 scale or that sort of scale for maybe, I don't know, bolt action or chain of command or something like that, you can't go wrong with these from Model Railway. They're really good quality, they're really easy to put together, and they look great. So I've got myself a village church. Every village needs a church, so that's good. And last but not least, some fences. So a really nice haul for the Model Railway, and today I'm going to be working on that with Rosie, hopefully. But again, other channel, but I just wanted to show that off. So that's what the family got me. Oh, I also got a record, Pink Floyd playing Dark Side of the Moon live in 1974, but I don't have that here because I've already taken it to my record player and been listening to it this morning. And my sister bought me a beautiful folio bound of Moby Dick, which is stunning, and I can't wait to read that with Rosie. Anyway, there we are. So that's family. I hope you got some fantastic gifts as well. Let's see what SBG Santa brought me, which is also awesome. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I'm going to get hobbying this week because I want to spend lots of time with the family. But I'll try and get bits and pieces, so we'll see. Most of it will be Model Railway, as I say. I really want to make a proper start on that this week. So SBG Santa is something that's run by the GBHL on Facebook. I'm no longer on Facebook, but I have the email address of the guy that runs it, so I always sign up because I love gifting, and it's also always exciting to receive stuff, but it's mainly because I love giving things at Christmas. And so this is what I was sent by my wonderful SBG Santa. It is a secret Santa, so I've no idea who it was. I believe it's a guy from Austria, so if you are watching, thank you very much. If you're not watching, thank you very much anyway. That we don't hear that. So he sent me a Grimbeorn. So that will go onto the painting bench very soon, and we paint it up, so watch out for that. He sent me a Gundabad Orc Captain, which is always useful, so one of those. And then inside here, which I thought he was like trying to get me into a different game. This is actually a Stormcast Eternal box. He sent me this, which is absolutely awesome as well. So that's cool. On top of that, he must know exactly who I am because he also sent me 2 small bat swarms. So they also will be appearing on my painting bench. So that's the hobbying stuff. Oh no, he also sent me these. Now he says that they're not Games Workshop, but they're Orc, so Gundabad. They'll be good for Gundabad Collector. So I need to have a look at those in detail. So when I have, I'll bring them out and they'll come onto the channel. And then the hobbying, this is very exciting and will be had for breakfast tomorrow. I have some of these jams and chutney, marmalades. Some Haribo, which I'll be sharing with Rosie, obviously, and a calendar. So I'll be hanging that up and I'll be using that absolutely for sure. So some beautiful pictures. There's a Mordor Orc Chieftain. There's some, not sure, can't remember. An eagle, always good. Some Mirkwood Elves. So yeah, some beautiful pictures in there. So thanks again to my wonderful SPG Santa, and once more I really hope everyone had a brilliant day. I've had a wonderful season, festive season, and yeah, I'll be back again in this vlog, hopefully with some hobbying as well, if I can get some time this week. Right, so I've just finished painting up the first of 9 Nazgul of Dol Guldur, and what I need to do now is make some bases. So they're all going to go on the same base, so I'm just going to do this once. I've got 9 bases here, I've got some green stuff, and I've got a flagstone rolling pin from Green Stuff World. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix my green stuff, spread it on each of these, and I'll bring you back and show you what the next steps are. I'm aiming for a ruined flagstone effect, so that's what I'm aiming for. Let's hope that's what I achieve. Tell you what, mixing green stuff is some workout on your fingers. So I've got 4 of them done. I'm just gonna, I haven't got much more time, so I'm gonna get these done and then I'll do the others a bit later on today. So yeah, so what we've got is we just put a pancake over the top of each of these bases. We take our Green Stuff World roller and smoosh it along. Don't worry about if it goes over the edge, it's absolutely fine, because we will cut that off when it's dry. So just do that, get the impression in, like that. That one's lifting off, which is a bit annoying. If that happens, I think the best thing to do is to get your roller wet, and then it won't stick to your roller. There we are, see? So get your roller wet. Now, luckily on this, I'm going for a damaged look, so it doesn't matter so much. So with that done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself a little sculpting tool. Yeah, that one should do. And I'm just going to come along and score in some damage into these slabs. So literally just putting cracks in the slabs, like that. There we are. We don't want them to look good, we want them to look damaged. So just like that should do it. And then this one, the last one here, put a crack there, and a crack coming across this one there and there. There we are. So we'll let that set, and as I say, I'll do exactly the same technique on the other 5 when I get time, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And once they're dried, that's when you want to cut the edges. If you try to trim them now, which I have done in the past, they will just lift and tear and it won't be good. So just let them to go off, and that'll take a day or so to go off, which is why I'm doing these now, because I want these finished this year. Yeah, so I should have time, but yeah, so I need to get them done now. So I'll get the other 5 done, exactly the same technique, and I'll bring you back when they're dry and show you how I go about doing the trimming. Well, I'm jumping straight in to my SPG Santa gift, Grimbeorn. Going to get this assembled and painted up. So the first thing to do, as I always do, for all my miniatures, but particularly for resin miniatures, is give them a good scrub in hot soapy water. Now I do have a video on showing exactly how I assemble, prepare and assemble resin miniatures over on my An Average Painter channel, which I will attempt to remember to link right now. But basically what you're doing is you're getting some hot water, hot soapy water, and scrubbing with a toothbrush, and then letting it dry naturally. So I don't hurry the drying at all. And that removes any mold release agent there might be, which would prevent any of your paint from sticking, because mold release agent is there designed to prevent paint from sticking, or prevent things from sticking. So you want to get rid of it if you can. So yeah, so I'll get this in the scrubber now, get this in the sink in a bowl of hot water, soapy water, give it a scrub. Once that's all dry, I'll show you how I go about assembling it, so I'll bring you back for that. And then the full painting experience will be over there as well on the Average Painter also, because that's how I'm segregating things. But I generally copy the art on the box, so that's what that's how I'll be painting it. So yeah, let's get this scrubbed and get started, and see if I can get this done this week. That would be really awesome if I can get it before New Year, because then it can be added on to my total for the year. If not, it will just start my total for next year. Right, so I'm still waiting for the instructions, but it has been over Christmas, so I'm not sure whether I'll get them this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a start on painting up the wooden parts, like I said I would. So I'm not totally sure where everything goes, but I do know that I want these sections here to be done in a wood colour. So I'm just going to come along with my burnt umber, raw umber paint, and put it on quite thin. I want it to be almost like a wash, so I don't want to cover up all of the kind of like texture and parts that are burned into this kit. So I'm not going to put it on too thick. I'm going to be getting water quite regularly to thin it out as I'm applying it, and that will give it a nice little covering of this colour. When this is dried, I might come along with a different one. Now these pieces here that I'm painting around delicately now are going to be done in silver, so just try to be as accurate as I can. There we are. So yeah, so I'm just going to paint everything that I think needs to be brown in this way. So I'll get that done. I'm not going to film it all because it's all very samey. It's just going to be that. So once I've painted everything I can in the brown, including this piece here, so it's mostly on this sprue, including this piece here, I'll probably run out of time for the day, but at least I'll have made a start. So I'll bring you back when it's dry and when I'm going to do the next stage. Maybe, who knows, I might have by that point received the instructions, and then I can make a little bit more progress. But yeah, just going to do the basic brown for the wood right now. And Rosie is having a lovely lie-in today, 28th of December, and so I've got a little bit of time to work on my Grimbeorn. So I washed this yesterday, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to assemble it. So I'm focusing first of all on the bare body, and I'm nearly finished actually, taking all the sprues off and cleaning them up. Just thought I'd quickly pop the camera on. It's beautiful to work with. This is a really lovely kit, very well made indeed. Everything just slots in pretty much perfectly without any gaps when you put it in the right place. There we are. And yeah, there'll be pretty much no filling at all required. So I use just normal super glue. This is Loctite Super Bond, about the only one that I can get here. And what we're going to do is put a little skiffle of super glue around the outside and a little bit in the middle, and then make sure you get the correct one. So this is the front leg, and just slot that in, and then do the back side, the rear leg. And what I'll do is I'll let that to dry for a little bit so that it grabs, and then turn over and do the other side, and then I'll have a look at cleaning up his head. His head is in two parts, there's his head. So while that's drying, let's have a look at that. I have a love-hate relationship with resin, but Forge Worlds is generally very good indeed. Does still need washing though. I'm currently very close to finishing painting up. I've got squeaky. They're very close to finishing painting up the Nazgul of Dol Guldur, and yeah, I did wash those, but some of the crevices I didn't get into as much as I should have done, and the paint is falling off. So yeah, that mold release agent is crazy. Right, so that goes like that. There we are. And then that will go on like that. There we are. So just make sure these aren't slipping. They aren't. Right, let's glue this together then. So just a little skiffle of super glue here. And glue that together. There we are. So it comes with a scenic base, which is pretty cool, and it also comes with a scenic base for the man form, which is also pretty cool. So what I will probably do is I'll certainly stick the scenic base down to the round bases. I'm not sure whether I'm going to actually stick the bear onto the base, and I'm almost certainly not going to stick the man onto the base, because I do have I really like. Well, one thing I really like about these miniatures is they come with these handy paint handles pre-attached. So I'll have a look and see what it looks like when everything is assembled for the actual miniatures, and then decide whether I'll be gluing them to the base. So let's have a quick look at the man. The hand had actually fallen off, the arm had actually fallen off the sprue, so that was actually loose already, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. And that just glues in there, I think. I think there is a little bit that needs to be tidied up. I'm always nervous when I haven't seen it on the sprue to work out if I should clean anything off or not. So I'll just put a bob, and that goes in sideways, according to, yep, goes in like that. Not that you can see, goes in like that. There we are. And like I say, handy dandy painting handle, which also acts as a stand, so yeah, everything can stay upright. Good look at his axe. There we are, nice and easy. So we'll put a little dab of glue in there. A little bit more cleaning up needed on that. It's got a little bit of side cutters, didn't quite side cut. And we'll slot that in. There we are. So I'd like to have a couple of these. This is obviously, I've only got one. I'd like to have a couple, that'd be awesome. But right now, having one's good, and then if I like it a lot, then I might get another one, a second one. I don't want too many, but they do look good. Getting in to cut this one isn't so easy. Might have to do a fair bit of tidying up on that. Yep, there's quite a bit of sprue left. Now, this is where having a very sharp knife comes in handy, because you don't want to damage the actual bow. That's not the greatest of designs for the sprue, that. There we are, got there. Super sharp knife came to my rescue then. Now I'll put his arrow and quiver on his back, and then I'll be able to prime these up later on today. Top tip if you're in a hurry, don't be, because if you try to prime when this super glue is still even slightly wet, then it will reactivate if it's not completely done in the water, and your brush bristles will stick together. This is a long clip, 7 minutes so far, but he's assembled. I might stop recording shortly because it's just going to be more of the same, though I have actually almost finished, so maybe I'll just keep going. So now we've been a good few minutes with the bear having sat. What we can do now is come along and glue the other side, hopefully without disturbing the right hand side legs, so we can put these in. And again, they just slot in, look at that, they're just beautiful. It's so well designed, so well manufactured. Really is much better than most other manufacturers. There we are. And I've just had a message saying that Rosie is awake, so I'm going to leave that now, and I'll come back later and finish up assembling the bear, and I will bring you along for that because I've quite enjoyed nattering away while I've been assembling. So I will bring you along for that. and then we'll get it primed, and then the painting will be over on the other Average Painter channel, as I've said. Right, so had a few minutes saying morning to Rosie, and I thought I'd just quickly come up and finish doing this, mainly so that the super glue is dry, so as and when I want to do my priming later, I'm not having to wait at all. Because yeah, that's normally the pacing for this kind of thing, is when the super glue is dry. So we're going to stick the head on. So I'm really close to finishing the assembly on this actually. Going to stick the head on and stick the decorative bases to the actual normal plastic base, the round bases, if you know what I mean, and then I will leave it at that. So it should only take another couple of minutes. So a bit of cleanup needed on that, but that's fine now. So again, just a little bit of super glue, and there. Oh, just need to hold that in for a little bit longer so that it grabs. There we are. And what we'll do now, have a quick look. So what it's saying, if we have a look at the artwork, what it's saying is that it should project a little bit over. So I think that's not a bad position. So again, just smear some super glue. It is wonderful stuff, isn't it, super glue? Smear some super glue on, just drop that in place. And the last thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to snip this base, which is for the human form. There we are, a little bit of cleanup. And stick that onto that base, the smaller one as well. And this I think should be like that. Now what I am going to do is I am going to stick the human form to this base, and actually to be honest I probably should have been a bit more prepared and had this snipped off already so that I can make sure that I've put the actual scenic part in the right place. So just quickly clean that up, make sure, yeah, I shouldn't have stuck that down first. Fortunately it's not going to cause me a problem. What you should do, and this is another benefit maybe of me doing this, is stick him onto that first. So stick the foot in place, and once the foot's in place, then you can position the whole thing successfully on the base and have everything fit right. Feeling a bit cack-handed with this, mainly because I'm worried about the camera. Right, there we are, that's better. So stick him on like that, and then once you've got that secured, then you can look to put in the scenic base onto the round 25mm base. So there we are, like that. So we'll do that, and then a little bit of glue here, and a little bit here, and now we can position both correctly, making sure, there we are, that it's going to stay upright. Most excellent. So there we are. That is how you assemble the Bayon and the Grimbeorn even. And the last thing to show is that, oh, that was careless, wasn't it? Haha, doesn't matter. There we are. Move him out of the way, so if I drop it again, it doesn't matter. I am being super careless. There we are, perfect. Right, so the last thing to show is that the bear does have also a specific position to be in, like so. And now I'm going to decide whether I'm going to glue that in place or not. So interestingly, there we are. needs to be a bit further round. So maybe I should have glued that in place to the base or checked that out before. I mean, I'm very lucky. Look at how close I am to the edge. I think I'm going to leave that separate to paint. I'm just a bit aware that getting in under here is going to be a bit difficult. So I'm going to leave that separate to paint, but that does go together okay, thank goodness for that. So there we are, that's how we're going to assemble the Grimbeorn. What I will do now is prime it. I always prime with the Vallejo Grey primer. So I'll prime this and then there will be a painting video, as I've said a couple of times, over on An Average Painter, where you can watch me paint the entire thing and as a time lapse. So hopefully that's been useful if you're looking at assembling the Grimbeorn, and hopefully the painting video will be useful when you're looking to painting him. Right, so I've just sat and assembled the Grimbeorn and filmed it all. Now I'm not going to put that on the vlog because, well, I don't want to, but I will be filming this, the painting of this, for An Average Painter, and so at the same time as I release that painting video, I will also put out the assembly video on here. So it has been recorded and it will come on the channel at some point. But yeah, for now, these are assembled super easy. Love these miniatures. I love Forge World's assembly. Sometimes the painting can be a bit annoying because it's got such sharp detail that your brush gets like damaged almost because when you're painting it, so you need to be careful. Probably works better with an airbrush, but me and airbrushes don't go. A couple of little tips I will mention now. These are highlighted in the video, but glue the scenic base to the man before you try to stick them onto the base. And also pay attention to the scenic base for the bear, because I'm very, very lucky. It's actually quite a long way round that he stands. He doesn't stand like this, like I thought. He stands kind of off to one side, and I've been quite lucky that it is okay, and actually gives me quite a nice area here to do some fun scenic stuff. But that really should be, according to, if you look at how they've done it, that should be a little bit further over here to give a bit more space at the back. And I've decided to glue that together and leave these two separate just to make it easier. Anyway, there we are. That's enough chattering. I'll get these painted and show what they look like when they're done. This green stuff has taken ages to go off, but it finally has. So what we're going to do, as I mentioned, is I'm going to just carve away any overhangs, just using a sharp knife. Do it as carefully as you can to not damage the actual base. And this is how I do it. Sometimes I'll do it from the side. Sometimes I'll do it pressing down onto a cutting mat like this. But ultimately, you just want to make sure that it's not hanging over. So both those techniques can work well. So once I've done that, I will then get some black primer. I won't show you that. I'm just going to paint it black with black primer, and then get some grey. Oh, that didn't work. I need to glue that back down. Get some grey. You just got to be a bit careful with this as well, because it's got the texture into it. Sometimes it can lift up like that one just did, but a little bit of super glue will sort that out. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll get these all trimmed down like that. Get some black primer and show what that looks like when they're all primed, and then probably just dry brush them grey. So I'm not going to spend much time filming my painting, but what I will do is I'll show you how it looks like once it's painted and what I'm going to do next, which is going to involve adding some like tufts and bits of grass and just making it look like dead grass and stuff like that, making it look old and a little bit Dol Guldurish. Anyway, enough chattering for a very basic thing. All I'm doing is trimming that green stuff. I'll be back very shortly once they've been painted. Show what it looks like for the next step. It's been a couple of weeks since I painted any Wargames Foundry stuff, so I think I'm going to get back to it. And I've just picked out OW093, which is the Lawmen. So once again, I've printed out the image off the website to give me an idea of how it's going to be painted. But before that, I'm going to do my usual of cleaning these up, giving them a good scrub in hot water, and then sticking them down to some tongue depressors for for painting downstairs, and I will be recording the painting of these. I don't often record all of the Wargames Foundry ones, but I want to record these, I think. So yeah, that's going to be done. So you can check that out on an average painter. But yeah, the Lawmen are next in the Wargames Foundry, so I'll get them prepared and primed to show you what it looks like then, and then get them painted up and show you what it looks like when they're done, and hopefully it won't take me very long. I've kind of let this sit to one side for a bit because I was focusing on other things, but I have got these primed up now, all of them primed up. Still haven't decided which of these two are going to be doing the sitting on. I think probably the more dressed one, but I did prime the other one as well. So everything now is ready to be taken down and painted, which is pretty cool. I held off because I'm coming up to, I had quite a busy time, and I was pushing on finishing miniatures for my little challenge, and really wanted to get a lot of that stuff done. But now I'm ready to focus on this, get this done for Rosie, and so she can have that up on her shelf. So yeah, I've got the picture printed out of how I'm going to roughly paint it. I'm going to be following along, not massively closely, but closely enough. I do like having something to aim at when I'm painting, so that's what I'm going to be aiming at. So I'll get this painted up. I'll bring you along every now and then with the progress shots as I'm painting it, but mainly I'm going to do this off camera, and yeah, I'll show what it looks like halfway through, and when it's done probably is what will end up being recorded. I have a stack of these, well I say a stack, 3. 2 timber outbuildings and 1 stone or thatched outbuilding. And I've already built one of these which went onto my lake build, but I'm going to do these again. I'm going to film them again. So these are the Renedra kits, and yeah, I just want to get them done. Really, they've been in my stash for a long time. So yeah, let's have a look at them. So I'm going to open them up. We'll have a look at the sprues. I'll film the assembly. Probably won't bother filming the painting because, as you can see, it's going to be paint it brown, dry brush it, done. But yeah, I'll film the assembly of both of these, and hopefully that might inspire you to go and get some Renedra stuff, because it is absolutely brilliant. I love it. The tower that I finished not that long ago was just brilliant, and the stone, these little buildings go together really, really well, and they're really cheap, which is always a good thing as well. So I'll get the packets open, we'll have a look at the sprues and start assembling them. I just went upstairs and I found that I actually do have 2 of the stone as well. So here we have them out of the packets. On the left we've got the timber outbuildings, and on the right we've got the stone thatched outbuildings. So if we have a quick look at this, you can see that there is instructions, which is useful, though they are super simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film these separately so that I can do 2 videos. I can gather the 2 videos together. So first of all, we're going to look at assembling the stone thatched one, and then I'll look at assembling the timber building, and I'll do them as different clips just so that I can separate them out for, as I say, for another video. But yeah, so 4 buildings, let's get these built. Had a couple of little deliveries today, which is cool. So this arrived much quicker than I expected, the Cactus number 2 from Pegasus Hobbies. I bought these to go on the base of my camel riders and my the dismounts, the Farhadrim warriors. I didn't think they'd arrive this year, and they have. So now I'm going to really give a kick on to try and finish at least some of my camel riders and camels and dismounts, because then I can put these on. So yeah, they're pretty good. I use them on my other miniatures, on the other camels I've done, and that's why I bought them, because they work really well, and they don't actually really need painting even, which is even more ideal, I don't think. So you know what, let's have a quick look inside and have a look, see if they do need painting. Oh, this single-use plastic, it does my head in every time. Let's just get that open. I managed to stab myself with my knife as well, which was pretty stupid. It wasn't even like sensibly. I was just holding my knife and taking the packing apart and just put my hand onto my knife. It wasn't even, it was really, really silly. But hey, right, so we've gotten into that now. And let's have a quick look. Right, they do need painting, yeah. So yeah, they're way too bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get those washed and scrub them really, really well. From memory, they do not take paint that well. So yeah, I'll get them scrubbed up, and they can be used as basing. And I think I've actually got another box of these coming as well. I think I ordered 3 boxes, so that's good. Can't have too much. I also have restocked up on my grey primer because I use that a lot. And the last thing that arrived are these. So these are airbrush mixing bottles. So if you mix up a colour you like, you can keep it from going off. Now I use these. Let me show you. This is what I put my primer in at the moment, because I prime upstairs, and so I decant into this, and it just makes it a bit easier to use. I've bought these initially. The original idea of buying these was for my Vallejo contrast paints, or speed paints, or whatever they call themselves. However, I've since been recommended to try a silicone pop-up palette, which is on its way. So these will stay in the box for now, and I'll give the silicone palette a try. And if I don't end up using these, then they can go to whenever I get back to Ireland next for whiskey. I'll take these for collecting whiskey samples. So they're not going to go to waste. But I was going to decant my paints into these for washes and for speed paints. I really like having a bottle or something. I don't like dropping it onto my wet palette for some reason, so that's why I've done that. Anyway, a couple of little deliveries. Most exciting one was this, the fact that I can now get these scrubbed and painted and potentially finish up some of my camels before the end of the year. So let's see what I can do about that. Right, so I have primed these black and then just very basically painted them with London Grey, which is a particular favourite colour of mine. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt to use a toothpick, and I'm probably going to only do one of these on camera, to put some of the basing glue from Luke onto these bases. So like this, and then I will put some dead dry grass. My computer is going a bit nuts in the background. Some dead dry grass on it, and that should then make it look just a little bit like there's some kind of weeds growing around. So there we are, just like that. So I will do that for all of them, and then seal it with a bit of PVA once it's set, and then bring you back and show what it looks like, and then we'll stick the miniatures on and we're done, which is really cool. Okay, so the glue, the basing glue is dried. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come along and seal it on, just using watered down PVA, just so it doesn't fall off. It's always a good idea to belt and braces this stuff, make sure it is going to stay. You can see it is moving a little bit sometimes. This is the first time I've tried this technique of making bases, and I've learned a bit. One thing I can say is that potentially I should have used the PVA first off and not bothered with the with Luke's basing glue. I don't think it was really the best thing to use. It was a bit difficult to apply, and yeah, just didn't really get it slotted into the gaps like I wanted to. I still think it's going to look okay, but this isn't quite the effect I was going for. But anyway, so I'll get these all sealed, let them dry, and then we're going to stick the miniatures on, and these are done, which is very cool indeed. So there we are, another 9 miniatures done before the end of the year, and they proper took the stress off of those camels that I've been working on. There we are. Right, so I'll let that dry overnight, come back tomorrow to stick the figures actually onto them. Well, that was a super quick project, and I'm really pleased with how they've turned out. Very, very, very easy to paint up, and yeah, they look great. Very happy with them indeed. He's leaning back a bit, but never mind about that. So yeah, just about 4 or 5 colours each, and got them done in a couple of days. I have filmed and will be releasing the 3 paint videos on an average painter channel for these. You only need to watch one really, because they're all the same. But you can watch all 3 if you want to be nice. They're only a few minutes long. They're not very long videos. But yeah, so the full paint alongs will be coming on Monday, actually on Christmas, on New Year's Day. That's when they'll be published. So yeah, really happy to get them done. I can go and now potentially might even get some games with them, but getting games is something which seems to be very, very rare for me at the moment. But at least they're painted off the Mountain of Opportunity, and I got them in before the end of the year as well. So yeah, that brings my number count up quite high, but I'm not going to reveal it right now. I will reveal that at the end of the vlog, which will be going out on New Year's Eve. This is the Cyber Lieutenant from the what's the name of the Kickstarter? I can't remember the name of the Kickstarter, but the company is Dungeons and Dreadnoughts. Let me remember the name of the Kickstarter. It was Cyber Dynasty, that's it. And this sat finished painting but unbased for ages, and so yesterday I decided to quickly paint the base, which as you can see I did, and stuck him on. So that's now wrapped up as well for before the end of the year, which is really cool. I really like it actually. I mean, it's not my style normally. I don't paint much sci-fi or high-tech stuff, but it's been really fun painting these. So I'm probably going to try and print out a bunch more from that Kickstarter and get them done as well over the coming months. So watch out for that. If you're interested in 40k or anything like that, then those will be coming to the channel. And I did film the whole of this, and so these will be appearing on an average painter as well when I do them. So there will be painting tutorials, if you want to call them that, or time lapses will be coming as well. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Happy to have got it done and get it done before the end of the year, so it can be jumped onto my total for the finish the year strong challenge. And I've had quite a few people sending things in as well actually, which is really good. So anyway, enough rambling. He's done. I can put him on display and move on to the next thing. The games room is a bit of a bomb site at the moment, to be honest. I've got a huge stack of stuff here for the model railway. Down in front of me, I'm not sure if it's visible, but I've got piles of wood, which is for the model railway. And because we were knocking holes through the wall, which if you want to see, you'll have to watch the ARA Railroad channel, I covered over the this with a big cloth, as you can see. Now it's come time for me to wrap this up, get it finished so I can get it moved, because it's in the way and I don't want it here anymore, and the workman will be back in a week or so, and so I need to get stuck in. So what I'm going to need to do is clear away all this stuff. We've got a load of boglins here. I've got my Treebeard's Home, can't remember the name of the place, whatever, Treebeard's Home diorama, and I've put a new shelf up so I can move that up there. So I need to clear some space, get access, and have a look at this. Now I'll do that, and I'll bring the camera closer, and we'll take the this sheet off, and I'll talk through what I'm going to do, because it's not what I thought I was going to do the last time we were talking about this. It's still a bit of a bomb site in here, but it's not as bad as it was. I've cleared away everything that was down here, so that's good. So what we're going to do is take this off very carefully. This brown sheet will actually stay with this, because when I move this upstairs into the roof space, I'm going to need to cover it and protect it from dust as well. And this sheet is a perfect size. So lifting it off very carefully, doing my best not to get it caught like it is now, because we don't want to damage things after all this effort and time and humongous quantities of money. So there we are. That can now go underneath here and wait. So where we're at with this and where we left it last time was I was going to make a load more trees. I've decided not to, for various reasons, most of which I just can't be bothered. So where we're at is we've got the trees, some of them are stuck in, some of them aren't. I'm going to need to glue the trees in, which is just going to be a case of getting some PVA glue and sticking them in. I need to cut the top of this one because it's got a bit of a spiky bit there, and we have our stream and we have rock along the sides, so we're pretty close. What with me not doing the trees, we're pretty close. All I really need to do is the stream, so we're going to get in here and do some resin work. Now I did mention in the previous clip that this Moment all-in-one crystal had gone a bit green and yellow, and I was thinking about whether I use it or not, and I've decided that I am going to put a bead of that in and just see what it looks like, because I don't really mind having a bit of a murkiness to the water. I can always go over the top of it with some clearer Moment, and when this goes into the roof it will not get any sunshine on it, because it's going to go into an area which doesn't have any sunshine, so it'll be fine. So what I'm going to do now, right now, is glue that in place. Snip the top off, glue it in place, and then get my resin gun out and put some resin in there. So what I'll be gathering together is some 99% alcohol, because you can use that to smooth this out so it doesn't, so when you squeeze this out, it's a tube obviously, so it's going to come out in a long, thin, kind of like tube shaped thing, and you're going to want to press it in place and move it around, and you can do that with your fingers or with a spatula, but you need to have alcohol on it or it'll all stick to your fingers or the spatula or whatever, and that doesn't work very well. So yeah, so I'm going to gather my tools and stuff together, and we're going to get this finished, and we might even get it finished, well, nearly finished right now. It might take 2 or 3 coats, applications of the silicone sealant, but yeah, well, at least we're going to make a start. So I'm going to gather our things together, and I'll be back very shortly to wrap this up. Okay, the first thing to do is going to be this tree, so let's get this done. So we're just going to take take these sharp scissors and snip the top of that, done. And then I've got my ancient thing of PVA, which I've refilled I don't know how many times, and we're going to slap some PVA in the hole, put some, actually I'll put some onto the stick that is the trunk as well, and find the hole again, having filled it with PVA, can't see it, where is it, there it is, slide that down like so. And there we are. So that will dry on nicely. So with that done, where did I put the top? There it is, camouflaged. I will rotate the camera very slightly, and we will have a look at the silicone. It's quite hard to get in behind here actually, because it's still such a bomb site anyway. So I've snipped the front off of my tube of Moment, and I have here my 99% alcohol. So what I'm going to do is open that up. I'm going to move my shed, and I'll be able to use my fingers for this. I've actually got quite a lot of kind of green things and bits of foliage and what have you, and flock that have gone into this, and I'm going to leave it in there because it just looks like this might not actually even work at all. Right, well there we are, that's a lesson. That has completely gone off inside the tube. So that answers that question. I'm not going to be able to use the green stuff, this stuff. That's just going to have to be binned. Right, I do think I've got another tube of crystal clear. So yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? I didn't think that had died completely, but apparently it has. Right, I'm going to have to make a big noise now, releasing the tension. Come on. Cool. If I can release the tension. I've got more strength than I realised. Oh, there it is. Ouch. Right, there we are. So we've released the tension. So we'll bin this and go and get a fresh tube if we've got one. That could completely and utterly flummox my plans for the evening. Right, I'll be back in a bit. No, as you were. I'd forgotten to actually open the tube. So I'd cut the top off the nozzle, but I'd forgotten to open up the actual tube. And this now is coming out. Not very easily, but it is coming out. So you can see there we get a long sausage. I might actually even make this nozzle a bit wider because I'm really not going to use this very often. This is going to be my only application. So let's just, that went a long way, make the nozzle bigger, which means more can come out. And what we're going to do is squirt loads in. And when we've got a bunch in, I'll show you my technique with the alcohol, and then I'll just get the rest of it done off camera because this is going to be a little bit dull. And also this is really hard work on my hands pressing this because it is a little old. So there's a bunch of sausages of the resin there. Release the tension and pop that down, and then come in with my alcohol and start pressing it in. And like I say, if you don't have alcohol, this is not going to be very easy because it will really stick to you and it won't be easy to manipulate. But as soon as you get the alcohol on your finger, you can really do awesome things with bathroom silicone. So there we are. So that gives you the idea of what I'm going to be doing. So what I will now do is, I'll probably keep running the camera, but I'll put some music on And we'll see how much I can get done this evening before my hands fall apart completely. But yeah, we're just going to keep building up those layers, and hopefully we'll have enough in this tube. If not, I'm pretty sure, like I said, I do have another tube. But yeah, let's keep going on this. I'll put some music on. Well, there we are. That took about half a tube, so not that much, and I'm pretty happy with how it looks. So I'm going to let that go off, and what we'll then have to do is a substantial amount of dusting, but then I'm going to come along and do some white caps and paint some like ripples coming out from where the stream hits the lake and what have you, just with some water effects. And then I think we'll be done, which is just amazing. This has been possibly 2 years. I mean, there's a lot more that will need to be done. If we come back here, you can see while I got the wood off, I still have a lot of sanding to do on this, but that could be done upstairs. I'm not doing that now, and I just want this to be out of the way because it's right cluttering. And I need the men here, the workmen, because it weighs probably 100 kilograms, maybe a bit less, maybe 75 kilograms. It would need 3 of us, and I'm actually a little bit worried that it'll just like disintegrate when we try and move it, which would be tremendously frustrating and a little bit poetic as well, because it's just been probably a bit of a waste of money, well, more than probably, definitely a waste of money and a lot of effort for something which I didn't really need to make, but I had fun with it. So I'm just feeling a bit down about it because of this, really. That's really put me off. Everything else is great. If you ignore the fact that you're supposed to be able to see through the front, it's a fantastic bit of building and I've had a lot of fun with it. I just feel a bit silly about this because that was just my own stupid mistake. Anyway, there we are. I'll wrap up this bit, and I say the final part will be putting the ripples in. I'll try and get that done in the next couple of days because in a couple of weeks' time, next week or so, the men will be back for the final time for a few months, and I want it moved in that period of time. Well, there we are. So pleased to have got back to the lake. Really going to try and get that finished, but all the projects I've been working on this week, starting some new ones, finishing up some. I got the entirety of the Dol Guldur, Nazgul of Dol Guldur finished this week, started and finished, which is pretty good going. It's been a fun week. It's been busy, and I've done lots and lots of other things, but it's been nice to still get to the hobby bench. So don't forget to comment and to vote for the Reaper Miniature. I had some people last week comment on my vlog, but not vote, which is odd. So yeah, do make sure you do that. And thank you to everyone that did last week. And I'm really excited to see all 52 miniatures that we managed to get done over this year with your help picking them out. That will be just about half, just under half of the Reaper Miniatures I've got to do. So I probably won't paint any other ones this year, and then next year maybe I'll just wrap up the rest of them. I'm not sure. But anyway, 2024 is around the corner. I wish a happy new year to every single one of you. I really hope that next year is awesome. Thinking of that, I'll wrap up the video thinking again of the horrendous wars going on in the Ukraine and in Israel. Just horrible. And I really hope that if any of you are impacted by those horrible events, then everything goes good. Things stop this coming year. Yeah. Bit of a rambly one, but yeah, it's upsetting me a bit at the moment. So just the fact that it's still going on and the horrors that are going on in both those countries, just horrible. Anyway, let's finish on a happy note. Happy New Year. Let's be positive, and to everyone, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.